If you're looking for a vlogging camera that's beginner-friendly, portable, and actually worth the hype, then this is the review you've been waiting for. I have been using this camera right here, the Sony ZV-E10 II, for about 6 months now, and not just for test shots, for my actual YouTube content, vlogs, and even paid brand work. I wanted to wait until the honeymoon phase wore off to give you my full review and thoughts. So today we are going to talk all about this camera. We're going to talk about why I bought it and whether or not I think it's worth the money. I'll reveal what I love about it, what took a little while to figure out, and what honestly still confuses me sometime about this camera because I'm just a girl. Let's kick it off with how I actually chose this camera. And just so you know, because I have the camera in my hands here, I'm currently filming this part of the video on my Sony a6400. So when you see this framing of me sitting at my desk, I'm using my other camera, but I will mark the differences on the screen so it hopefully does not get too confusing. I bought this camera in October of 2024 after deciding that I wanted to put more time and effort into creating vlogs for my YouTube channel to share more of my personality and my real life with you. So if you enjoy New York City vlogs, or you found yourself wondering, what the heck does a full-time influencer even do all day? Then be sure to subscribe and stick around. Two big things that I did to research this camera were, number one, I just started watching more vlogs in general, and I would either go to the description to see if the camera was linked below, which everything I talk about today, including my camera, my mics, and all my various equipment, will be in the description for you. And if they didn't, I would literally leave a comment on their vlogs and say, what camera do you use? Like, the quality is amazing. And a lot of people got back to me with this as the response. So I already knew this camera was being used in the videos of creators who I already loved their vlogging style. And then the other thing that I did was watch a lot of YouTube video reviews about this camera. And I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes when the camera experts explain things on the camera, I'm just sitting there like, what are you saying? I understand some terms like aperture and ISO, but at the end of the day, I kind of just want to know, like, if I pick up this camera and turn it on and start using it, will my videos look good? That's another reason I wanted to film this review as a non-expert and someone who primarily shoots lifestyle content of their day-to-day life. Let's discuss some of the specs, if you will, on this camera itself. So what I love about it is you can see right away from the size that it fits really nicely in the palm of my hand. I chose to purchase this camera in white, so the body is all white with a black lens, and they do also sell the base of the camera in black too. Now, the lens that I have on this camera, I'm gonna talk about throughout this video because I decided not to get the camera with the kit lens, which is essentially just a lens that comes with the camera, and it's usually offered at more of a bundle rate. I really wanted this 11mm E-mount lens, which is what I ended up getting, because I find that the wide angle that it gives is perfect for vlogging. Especially when it comes to vlogging, I love being able to see someone's face clearly, but I also want to see their background, what's going on around them. And I feel like this lens makes my apartment look so much bigger when I'm using it and talking to you. I feel like it gives you more of the background when I'm out and about in Hoboken or New York City, which are the two places that I vlog primarily. And I just find it to be a more enjoyable viewing experience. And I also find it to be really easy for me to film with this lens. And the cool thing about this lens and most Sony lenses, if you're in the Sony world, I don't even know how I ended up in the Sony world, honestly. I kind of just landed here one day, so here we are. But anyway, the good news about this lens is because it's an E-mount lens, it means it's compatible with any other Sony camera that can also fit an E-mount lens. So in theory, I could swap the lens on my a6400 for this lens and vice versa. Now, some of the basic things to know about this camera is here on the left side, you have a little slot for the memory card. Underneath that, you have a little slot for an HDMI 1 cable and also a headphone jack. And then above that, you have a mic jack where you can plug in an external mic. We will talk about microphones in a little bit. And then you also have a USB-C cable port here, and this is one way that you can charge the camera. And then underneath the camera here, you have a little screw slot where you can screw this camera into the tripod of your choice. And then also down below, you have the battery pack. It has this screen that flips out just like this, and you can also rotate, oh, I always go the wrong way. You can also rotate this screen so that you can see the display on the back side here. Or if you're vlogging, you will be able to see yourself in this screen. So it makes it really easy to ensure that you are capturing what you want to be capturing. Now, some of my favorite features of this camera, just to go over a couple of basic things when you're actually shooting with it, are number one, the autofocus and auto tracking. I just feel like Sony is the best in the game when it comes to this. And again, especially when you're vlogging and moving around a lot, you want to make sure that you are still in focus or that you can easily tap the screen to refocus somewhere else. Right now, I can see that there is a little square on this camera that is following my eye. So even as I move or the camera moves, it never loses the focus on me, which we love, of course, on the main character. Another great thing about this camera, I know this is not new, but I think it's important for YouTubers to be thinking about long-term especially, is that this camera does shoot in 4K. I personally film in 4K and export at 1080p, which essentially means that I'm capturing the highest version and quality of the content, but that I'm exporting it at a size that YouTube is not going to take 10 hours to upload. Another thing that I love about this camera is actually right here on the top, there is a button that will blur your background. So if you want to get that very cool cinematic look where you are in focus and your background is blurry, you can literally do that on this camera with the touch of a button. Next, let's talk about some of the microphones that I use with this camera, because if there's one thing that I've learned over my almost 8 years on YouTube, it's that audio is so important. In my current apartment, I am filming in a room that serves many purposes. It is my office, it is the living room, it is the gym, it is the kitchen, it is the dining room, it's even the laundry room. For that reason, my apartment tends to be a bit echoey even after, putting rugs down and all of that stuff. It's just the nature of the space. Plus, I love vlogging out and about in New York City, which I don't know if you've heard, not really a tranquil or quiet place to film. So that being said, audio is super important. And to be totally honest, this is still something that I am figuring out and that I think I've kind of come up with multiple different solutions for. So let me talk you through all of my different mic options and we'll test each one with the camera so you can hear what it sounds like. Just a gal and all her microphones. Now, I actually have 5 different mic setups that I'm going to talk you through just to show you a bunch of different options at a bunch of different price points, and you can decide what you think sounds the best. And actually leave a comment down below and let me know which one sounds the best to you, because I am always here for the feedback. The very first setup that I want to talk to you about is the one that we already have right here. So this is just the built-in mic on the Sony camera, and it has a windscreen on top of it here. Windscreen is the technical term. I call it the fuzzy mic. Now, like I mentioned when I started this video, this is the newer version of this camera. We'll talk a little bit about the older version later on, just in case you were debating between the two. I do believe that the sound is better with the built-in mic on this camera. In general, I find that just adding some external mic really helps with the quality of sound. Here is the camera with the built-in microphone. So right now, just the windscreen is on this camera, and I did bump up the audio recording level on the camera to 18. So usually I have it at 13, but I did bump it up since I don't have an external mic here. So this is what it sounds like with the built-in microphone. And it's not to say it's bad. If I'm in a pinch or I'm running around a lot, this could be the easiest setup, but personally, I do prefer something a little bit more. And let's move on to another mic option. Now this adorable little microphone is something that I saw another vlogger who I love following use, and I thought her audio quality sounded pretty decent. $20 from Amazon. How can you argue with that for what I think is still a much more elevated audio experience than the built-in? Plug it in, and there you go. This is what it looks like. What I love about this is that it is so portable and mini. This is the one that I typically bring when I'm going out and about in the city. Maybe I'm gonna be at an event or I'm gonna be walking around. Here is what the camera audio sounds like with the little plug-in mic from Amazon. So I've reset the audio recording level to 13, and I just love how small and portable it is. So here's what it sounds like when I have this mic plugged in. And so we're working our way up here, by the way, in both like size and quality. See what I'm doing there? The next mic setup that I want to show you is this little Bluetooth lavalier mic setup. So the way this works is you take out the receiver. Here is what it looks like. And what's great about this is it has a plug-in, which I'm going to plug into the camera here, but it also comes with a Lightning port and a USB-C port. So I can actually also use this mic with my phone, which I do sometimes, to get better audio for my short form content as well. So that is amazing. I'm plugging the receiver in to the mic, and then I turn on the power button. And then I take this little mic, which is a clip-on mic, also known as a lavalier mic, something that can clip onto your lapel, and the lights will be flashing, and then once you pair the two together, the lights will stop flashing, so you know that it's all set up and ready to go. And I'm probably not wearing the best outfit to actually clip this mic onto myself right now, but just so you can see, this is what the setup essentially looks like. If I don't want to clip it on, or I just want to hold the mic so that I have something to do with my hands, or just because I find it easier, or maybe I do want to interview someone. Although if there is another person with you, the great thing about this mic set is that it comes with two mics. I don't know why I'm holding this like I'm talking into it. I am very aware that this is the mic that I'm using right now, but I'll show you in the cutaway clip how this works. Here is what the audio sounds like with this little portable Bluetooth microphone. And the reason I have you at my desk over there is because I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk all the way over here, all the way behind the table, all the way over to where the laundry is. And in theory, you should still be able to hear me very clearly. And if you use the clip with this, you can clip it onto whatever piece of clothing that you're wearing. Two quick things to note about this Bluetooth mic set is, number one, you just need to make sure it's charged before you use it. So it charges with a regular USB-C cable. And the other thing is, if you're wearing something kind of thick or you're moving around a lot while you're filming, just keep in mind that this could potentially pick up some of that audio. The closer the mic is to you, the better potential audio that you're gonna get. So that's why a lot of people prefer the lav mic to just have it right in front of them or to wear it. Okay, and that brings us to what I think is actually my current favorite setup when it comes to microphones. So this is a Movo shotgun mic. This one comes with its own little mount, and it obviously has a big windscreen up here, this fuzzy ball essentially. When it comes to installing this one, you will just slide it in to the top and then twist the screw until it is stabilized and in place. And then you can just plug it into the side of the mic jack like you've done with anything else. And this mic you can get on Amazon for about $40. One thing I will mention is that sometimes the screw that holds the mic to the base can come a little loose. I personally was able to find a tiny Allen wrench just in one of my camera bags, and that was the solution. Once I screwed this into place so that it was not wobbly in any way, it really stabilized and became basically my favorite option. This is also nice for me if I want to put this camera on that tripod that I'm currently using to film this video, just to film around my apartment where maybe I'm not moving the camera around so much. This setup is still pretty compact for argument's sake, but it's just not as small or discreet, I guess I would say, as some of the other options are. Here we are using the Movo shotgun mic for audio now, so this has kind of become my go-to when I'm vlogging in the apartment. It works pretty well with the handheld tripod, and then it's also great for the stable tripod. Definitely a little bit more bulky and conspicuous than the other options, but honestly, really good price point and really good audio quality in my humble opinion. Now, the last mic I wanted to mention is being used by this camera right now, so I will show you in a cutaway, but over on my Sony a6400, as I'm filming this, I am using the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. Now, this is our priciest option for a microphone. This one retails for $300, which might sound insane to you. It is not portable or practical. However, if you are doing some on-the-street interviews or you film a lot of sit-down videos, this is a professional grade mic that's gonna get you amazing audio quality. And I just like knowing that I have this in my arsenal if I need it at some point. Okay, here we are using the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. I believe that's its full government name. And can I just say, this did make the camera much heavier just because it is the largest microphone, but in theory also the best quality. And for this, I reduced the audio recording level to 7. And I also like that there is good stabilization on this mic, so even as I move the camera around or almost trip over my Peloton bike, you shouldn't be able to hear anything within the audio. Let me know in the comments, now that you've heard them all, which sounded the best to you. I did want to quickly talk about two tripods that I use with this camera. This is the first one. The brand is E10 II. I don't know, I don't speak French. And this is a really easy portable handheld tripod. This fits in most of my purses. You screw in the camera. I personally find this to be easier to hold and stabilize while I am vlogging out in the world. And then the other nice thing about this one is that I can kind of just prop it up like this. So if I wanted to talk, oh no. Wait, that is a tragedy. This poor tulip. I am always such a sucker for the Trader Joe's tulips. Wow, okay, where were we? Right, so if I just wanted to prop the camera up like this somewhere, it just makes it so easy when I'm on the go. If I'm working at a coffee shop, if I want to chat with you while I'm at my desk, if I'm doing my makeup, this one works perfectly, and I love how easy it transitions to being handheld too. And then the other tripod I use a lot when I'm vlogging at home especially is this one that is in use right now, so I'll show you in a cutaway. I also found this one on Amazon, and I have tried a couple of different tripods over the years. I think this one is the best combination of being both sturdy and also lightweight. If I did need to bring this into the city to shoot content, I could fold it up and put it in a tote bag. However, it's definitely not as portable as this one right here. To talk quickly about storage and portability, as you can see, the camera itself is not too big, which is great. So it means that I can actually bring it in a mid-sized purse with me or a tote bag if I'm out and about in the city. When I bought the camera, it came with this camera bag from the brand Ruggard, and this is a pretty standard camera bag, but like, to be so for real, there's no way I'm bringing this out and around in the city, because sometimes I want to just bring a mid-sized purse with me, even if I am bringing the camera with. So that is where this comes in. So this I also found on Amazon, if you're sensing a theme here. This is from the brand Mega Gear, and it's basically a neoprene sleeve for the camera. All I have to do is take the camera, put it inside here, and then Velcro it shut, and this is much easier for me to bring along with me and put in my purse without leaving my camera exposed to potentially running into lip gloss or a pen or who knows what's in my bag that could scratch this. It's like a minimum baseline protection layer that just makes me feel better about bringing the camera out. Let's talk about price of this camera, and this is where I was really weighing the difference between getting this newer version that was released in July of 2024 versus getting the original ZVE-10. The body of the camera with no lens is $998, and that is an investment, let's just say it. However, as far as all cameras go, it's actually not the craziest price point. I was just looking up the price of the original camera body, which by the way, I do not own and I have never owned. I just have the version 2. The original version, the body retails for $698. So it's $300 less, but I will tell you some of the upgrades that they made to this new version that made it feel worth it to me. One of the biggest being the battery life on this camera. So as I showed you, the battery is at the bottom of the camera. And when I purchased this camera, I also purchased a backup battery so that I always have another one. That's something I do for all cameras. And then I also purchased this charger where it can actually charge both batteries at the same time if needed. This is definitely something I would do before like going on a trip. So this is the battery for the ZVE-10 II. For context, this is the size of the battery for my older Sony camera, which I want to say I got in 2020. I mean, the size difference is just crazy. This one is clearly larger and will last for way longer. And just for fun, this is the battery for my Canon G7X, which is my original vlogging camera. So not having to worry about the battery life was a big deal for me when choosing to get the upgraded version of the camera. They've made improvements in stabilization and the image tracking. It It shoots really well in low light, which is nice, and also it is just so lightweight. I did get to hold the other model when I went to B&H, and it's crazy that this one is just as light as it is, and it can capture the quality of footage that it can. As far as the lens goes, like I said, I did not purchase the kit lens that comes with this camera. I knew already going into it I wanted to purchase this 11mm wide-angle lens, and that one retails for $698 right now. So all in, with the camera body, the lens, the battery packs, if you're doing the math in your head, we're at about $1,700 right now, which for me as a full-time content creator and someone who really is making YouTube a priority and something that I am investing back into my business and constantly elevating the quality of, to me, this was absolutely worth it as an investment, and also kind of long overdue. Because before this, I really didn't have a dedicated vlogging camera that wasn't my Canon G7X, which is a camera that we all know and love. That is a vlogging camera that has served me so well over the years, not to mention now you can take incredible flash photos with the Canon G7X too. And I had purchased the Sony a6400 in 2020. I was mainly using it for sit-down videos. It only makes sense that a few years later that this was my next natural upgrade. So again, as someone who's been doing YouTube for 8 years, who was really interested in elevating my vlogging content, getting better image quality, and frankly making my editing process even easier, this was so worth it for me. And just to compare a bit to the other two cameras I just mentioned, this is my Canon G7X that I got in 2017. Still works, it totally still works. I did bring this camera to Wyoming to vlog our national parks trip, and I could just tell, I was like, you know, it's just not as good as it could be. It's not as crisp, it's not as clean. There's just a lot more limitations with this camera, considering it was never designed to do what the Sony camera can do. And then when it came to the Sony a6400, I bought this camera in 2020 because I wanted to level up my sit-down videos and I wanted something that could record longer than the G7X. I do still pull it out from time to time, especially if I'm filming videos at home. It's a nice camera, but it is so heavy, especially with the kit lens that it came with, that it would just make it very impractical to vlog with this camera out and about. And if we're talking about cameras that I've used for YouTube before, I guess we should also just quickly mention my iPhone 15 Pro. Wait, iPhone 15 Pro Max. I know I always forget one descriptor because that's how long the phone names have gotten now. But I very much still will take my iPhone out from time to time to include in little clips in vlogs. Maybe I am vlogging a week in my life and I run out to grab lunch or something. I wasn't planning to bring my camera and I just see something cute, like a cute little corner of Hoboken or something, or I want to show you the deli that I'm walking up to. The phone is really there to help fill in the blanks so that I can still capture content for a vlog, even if it's not perfect or the best quality. When it comes to some things that I'm still confused about and figuring out with this camera, I think the number one thing to mention is that I am just in a transition when it comes to storing all my files now, to the point where I can't save all of my raw footage that I'm shooting with this camera. Because I am shooting in 4K, there is just simply no way. I would run out of room every 2 seconds. I already have the maximum storage I can have on my phone, the maximum storage I can have for a laptop, and I use an external hard drive to store all of my completed videos. If you're curious, just grabbing this from the drawer next to me. This is the external hard drive that I use. This is a Toshiba hard drive and it stores 2 terabytes worth of video on here. And I also just had to purchase a little USB-C converter because this one's sold with a regular USB cable. I can link both of these and obviously everything else I've discussed in the description for you. What I've been trying to do is create like a B-roll library on my Google Drive, where maybe if there's a good clip of me working out on my Peloton or working at my desk where I'm like, that's a good kind of like B-roll footage that I should save. If I remember, I will upload it to that Google Drive folder so that I have some footage to pull from should I ever need it. So that's just kind of an adjustment slash thing to note if you are choosing to shoot in 4K. I think also going through the trial and error of all of these different mics has been a journey, so I hope that I have helped steer you in the right direction of what would work best for you. And then the other thing to mention is that on this camera, there are 3 different modes. The middle mode is video mode. That's what I always have it on for the most part. If I did slide it over to S&Q mode, which I'm gonna be so for real, I have no idea what that stands for, but I know that that is where you could shoot in slow-mo, which is something I could see myself experimenting with in vlogs for sure. And then this camera, even though I feel like it is pitched and packaged as a vlogging camera first, it does have the capability to shoot photos as well. I have not personally tested this too much yet, however, I am going to Italy next month, which I'm so excited about, and I will be bringing this camera with me. So be sure to subscribe and stick around if you want to see how I use this camera on my Italy trip next month. I am going to try to challenge myself to take some photos with it and not just do my normal vlogging routine. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope this helped you if you've been considering getting the Sony ZV-E10 II camera for your YouTube channel. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and if you want some tips on how to actually vlog, I will leave a video that I made as the up next recommendation on the screen for you to check out next. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.